killed Kenny! You bastard!
Do you want to know what killed Kenny? It was bad position sizing. So in this video, I want to show you how you could avoid the same mistakes that Kenny made. So Kenny heard that the stock market has been going up and up and up, and so he decided that he would take all of his money and put it into the stock market, buy that one stock that just keeps on going up because it's going to go to the moon and he's gonna be rich. Well, didn't work out that way. The stock started to move up, but then it started to roll right back over, and it fell, and it fell, and it fell. And before Kenny knew it, his entire account was wiped out. So how could Kenny have avoided this? How could Kenny have avoided getting killed? Well, you don't go all in on anything. You don't mortgage your entire house. You don't start buying Bitcoin on your credit card. You don't overextend yourself. You only put in the amount that you are able to lose. That's what your trading account should be. It should not be money that you cannot afford to lose, especially if you are just learning how to do all this stuff. If you're just learning how to do all this stuff, then you will make mistakes. There's no way around it. Even if you buy somebody's course, you have all the trading tools, you are even following along somebody else's service, there's still going to be mistakes that you make along the way. They're inevitable. And if you start taking every piece of money that you have and putting it all into the market, that's gonna be a very, very expensive mistake. Now, there's two mistakes there that Kenny made. It's taking everything that he had and putting it all into the market. Then taking all that and putting it into this one stock. If you put all of your money into one stock all at once, then you're inevitably going to fail. Now, let's rewind a little bit. Let's say, here's a new story. Kenny took all of his money, bought that one stock, and that stock starts climbing and it's climbing and it's climbing, and it became a winner, right? Now Kenny is out on his yacht, he's on the beach, he's fishing, he's doing whatever, right? Just enjoying and loving life, and he decides to go all in again, right? Because that's a solid strategy. Got me the yacht, got me everything that I ever wanted. So goes all in again. Now that I've got the yacht, now I want to buy an island to go visit with that yacht. So goes all in again. This time, different results, right? If you keep going all in, and you're not managing your risk, and you're having this terrible position sizing strategy, you're inevitably going to lose at some point. At some point, it's going to roll over and you're going to get that big dud. The problem with winning the first time and being able to buy that yacht is that the market is rewarding your bad strategy. So let's play this out a little bit more. So this time Kenny blows up, right? And well, it's not because I went all in. That worked the first time. So it must be something else. Maybe I didn't study this stock enough. Maybe Trump came out and he said something and that's the reason why I lost. Maybe the service that I signed up to, maybe that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and I should go sign up to somebody else's service, right? Well, like there could be any number of reasons why this didn't work out, and each of those reasons, putting it on someone or something else, it's not the answer. The answer is always us. But having already been rewarded for bad behavior, building a bad habit, now it's more difficult to break that habit. So he blows up, starts saving again, goes back in with the same strategy. And then what will inevitably happen is he blows up again, and will take that much longer to finally figure out that, maybe going all in on one idea is not the right idea. That's the first thing that killed Kenny. Going all in, taking everything that he had, everything that he owned, going all in on one idea to a lesser degree, taking your entire account, even if it is just a portion of your money that you are willing to lose, taking all of it and going all in on one idea without any kind of a risk management strategy, it's not a way to sustain yourself over the long term. Here's another way that position sizing killed Kenny. So he comes back from the dead like he always does, and this time got smart. I'm not gonna go all in. This time I'm going to just put a little bit in. And so what happens? Buys that stock starts rising and rising, going up to the moon. But this time has very little impact on his portfolio. Let's say Kenny saved up 100 grand, right? But he only bought stock, he only bought $1,000 worth of stock, right? So that stock ends up tripling, right? So on that $100,000 portfolio, he made $3 grand on that stock that tripled in value, which is nice, but his account only went up 3%. Finding that's a lot of effort to only see a 3% return in your account. There is a happy medium between what you going in too much and going in too little. And it's up to us to find that. So I want to give you 2 ways that you could have a better position sizing strategy. So in this first strategy, we're going to chop our portfolio up into separate slices. Alright, so let's say this time Kenny gets smart, and rather than taking the $100,000 that he had, let's say that he just wants to start out with $10,000. Right? So this time, what Kenny is going to do, he's going to separate his account into 5 equal slices. And each one of them is going to be $2,000 each. So each position that Kenny buys, each stock that Kenny's going to buy, he's going to only buy $2,000 worth of each of these stocks. So that way, if this stock completely implodes, without any other risk management, the most that he's going to lose is 20% of his account. Now, there's other ways to manage risk so that way he's not going to lose that entire $2 grand, but all else held equal, the most that he's going to lose is just that $2,000. So let's say that Kenny wants to take this a step further, and he doesn't just want to buy any of these stocks all in one shot. Let's say that Kenny now wants to use a pyramiding strategy, right? So let's say he takes that first $2,000 and he wants to pyramid into the stock. So what would that even look like? So he buys stock XYZ, and at first he buys $1,000 worth of that stock. It starts to work in his favor. Okay, great. So then as it's working in his favor, he decides that I'll buy a little bit more. So let's say he buys another $700 worth of that stock. Keeps on going in his favor. Then he buys that last $300. What this does is it's allowing the stock to move in his favor before he buys more of it. And so if he buys $1,000 worth of the stock and it immediately implodes, then he's only risked that 1,000. As the stock starts to work in his favor, only then he's adding more money to that idea. And so that's the strength of pyramiding into that idea. There is no perfect strategy. The perfect strategy does not exist. Everything has its strengths and its weaknesses. Some ideas, like Kenny's original idea, just plain suck. But when we know what the strengths and what the weaknesses are, then we can play to those strengths and we can either be aware of those weaknesses. Maybe there's ways that we could work around those weaknesses. Maybe we could punt them all together. But we need to understand everything in its entirety in order to succeed. I want to give you one more position sizing strategy, and it's the one that I personally use. It's backing into the number of shares that I want to buy based on the amount of money that I want to risk. Here's how it works. So instead of this pyramiding strategy, let's say that Kenny wants to try this strategy where you back into the number of shares that you could buy. So he still has his $10,000, but he only wants to risk 1% of that $10,000 on any given trade. So he's only going to risk $100. That doesn't sound like much at all, but we're not buying $100 worth of stock. We're risking $100. So what that implies is that we know at what price we're going to buy and we know at what price we're going to sell. Right? So let's say that there is a stock and the stock costs $100. And let's say that we plan on exiting, if we're wrong, at $95, right? So that means that we would lose $5 per share if we are wrong. So to get to $100, then that means that we can buy 20 shares. So we could buy 20 shares of this stock, right? Because 20 times 5 is 100. And then that means that we are buying $2,000 worth of that stock. And we're risking $100. Now, let's say that instead of selling at 95, let's say that we wanted to buy at 100, but we wanted to sell at 98, right? So now we're only down $2 per share. Well, if we're risking $100, then that means that all of a sudden we could buy 50 shares, right? We could buy 50 shares of that same stock if we enter at 100 and we plan on exiting at 98 if we're wrong. So now, rather than buying $2,000 worth of this stock, now all of a sudden we're able to buy $5,000 of that stock, but we're still only risking that $100. That is the magic of backing into the number of shares that we want to buy and having a trading plan and being able to know that we want to buy at 100 and sell at 98. There needs to be some good reasons why we would enter here and exit there. That's a topic for another video, but planning our trades in this way allows us to leverage our positions while still only risking the same amount, a very little amount. So I think that that gives you a good start. I think that that gives Kenny a lot of different ways to not get killed in the market by his position sizing. Let me know what you thought. Did this open your mind? Did this give you a better sense of different ways that you may want to position size and how you might want to take advantage of it? This is a rabbit hole that goes pretty deep. Let me know what questions you have. Put them down in the comment section below. I'd love to jump in and help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button. That's going to help us out a lot. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that way you get every single update. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care, and have a great day.